Next game that we want to talk about here is the New Orleans Saints versus the Carolina Panthers. And my takeaways are twofold in this one. Number one, the Panthers are who I thought they were. I never thought they were a good team. We heard rumblings that maybe they were going to win some ball games this year and move forward. And the bottom line is they're just not that good. And Bryce Young is going to continue to struggle with no talent around him. Uh, there are two schools of thoughts there. Do you sit the kid behind and just let him learn, or do you throw him out there to the wolves and let him learn by experience? I personally think you throw that kid out there to the wolves and you're letting him learn from experience, and he's going to get hurt. They just they're just not good. On the flip side, New Orleans beat them the way I thought New Orleans can beat them. I thought Carr played just about as well as Carr can play. Uh, and I still don't think either one of these teams are going to sniff the playoffs, but it's a good home win for New Orleans, beating a bad team the way they should. So with that, what the coach saying? What are your impressions of the
So
ball
this
game?
was one of those games that was a very trendy pick amongst sharps. A lot of people were taking the Carolina Panthers plus the points, and that had a lot to do with the Saints and not thinking that they were going to be great. I still don't think the Saints are a very good football team. I think the Saints are actually one of the worst football teams in the NFL. But if Derek Carr is going to keep playing like that, and specifically in the first half where they were up 30-3, I think at halftime,
Yeah,
um, they can they can be okay. I mean, but so for the code, we liked we had no plays on this. Two leans, one on the Panthers, one on the under. Both wouldn't have hit. We made the Panthers a 1 point favorite. Obviously, they lost by 37, and we had the under 40 and a half by a lean. Um, and so that's kind of where we were at with that game. Again, no bets, thankfully. Um, Bryce Young, I think it's I think there's two parts to it. One, I think he's missed a lot of easy throws. I think he's missing throws that he should make. When you're looking at it from a talent perspective of where he was at Alabama to now, he looks like a completely different quarterback, and that all comes down to confidence. He's missing easy
100%.
throws, but at the same time, I mean, he was 13 of 30 for 161 and two picks.
Yeah.
You're not going to win NFL football games with that type of production at quarterback, and he's had that type of production a lot in his NFL career so far.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, but when you put somebody in a position where they're truly set up to fail, and
Yeah,
I think Bryce Young is truly set up to fail. Uh, this is the result, and for the Carolina Panthers, it is hard for me to envision that they will win a significant amount of games this year.
I'll be
Maybe
honest
they'll get a
much.
handful, but it isn't going to be. They're going to be drafting high again. And Bryce Young, I mean, the bottom line is he is not producing at a level that suggests he should be a starter in the NFL.
No, he's not.
That reality is what it is. But for us, I'm glad we didn't have a bet on this game. But once again, we're transparent. We'll tell you that our code was a little off, but it was only off on leans. It wasn't off where we would actually make a bet on it. So with that, sometimes the best bets are the ones you don't make, and that was definitely the case here because the code in our expert basically said there are no bets here to make. So
Yep.